Okay.
Shooter, are you ready? Stand by.
What up, YouTube? Gunner South here. Doing something a little slightly different than I would normally do today. I'm going to give you kind of a peek inside the reloading, or specifically the brass processing that I do. I don't do a tremendous amount of reloading. I do enough just to keep me going week to week. But that still requires that I do have to clean the range brass, process it, get it ready to reload. And I have something I think a lot of us have bought just due to the price and value of it, is one of these Chicago Electric Power Tools dual drum rotary rock tumblers. The idea behind this one is you get two drums, and I've got a little brass in there, but you get two drums that will sit. They'll sit side by side. One goes here, one goes here. That will, you have a bunch of stainless pins that go in here. And then you have like this cork layer. Then you put the lid on it. Excuse me. Then you have to put a washer on it. And then you have to put this on it. And by the end of it, you've got like, you know, all this just to keep the drum closed, which I thought was a little ridiculous. Also, you only really get these about half full, so I think this is supposed to be like a maybe a 6 pound. I'll have to verify that, but it's not a lot of brass that you get to process at any given time. You can do about half brass, throw some pins, half water, and times 2. Then you have to do this whole thing times 2, and it works, don't get me wrong. But I was looking for like an easier solution to the dual drum aspect of this tumbler. And then it sits in here and it rotates, whatever. So when I was out there, I actually found a post, and I'll share the link here, on how to create your own single drum. So that's what I did. I ended up finding a post, and here's your finished product. Basically, you go out and you buy PVC pipe of the correct diameter. And I'm going to leave, I'll either add them here, I don't know the exact diameter, but you buy the PVC pipe, you cut it to spec, that's where it fits, and you end up gluing in a plug on one end. So this end is plugged in. You can see I did a really crappy job cutting this thing. I had a lot of chatter, but I was just trying to get it done, and I figured that the glue would seal it, and it did, and it works, but it's really ugly. But you glue in a plug on one end, and then the other thing you add is a basically an agitator. When I bought the PVC pipe, it came in a large section. It was just one piece. And so what I did was I cut again to size the agitator here and glued it in to keep everything rolling around properly in the drum, because you're going to need one. In the smaller drums you don't need one. In this bigger drum I found you really do, especially because you're going to fill this thing up a lot deeper than you can the smaller ones. And then you're going to need, I think one of these are called test plugs. You need a test plug to fit on the end, and it goes on one end. The other thing you'll have to do is you got to get rid of it comes with a wing nut. Most of these come with a wing nut, so you'll have to replace that with just a regular nut there, because if you don't, when you stick it in here, it will actually contact this. So you really got to be down to just that right there. Then finally, you can see what I've done. I've got these bands around it. So you're going to need the PVC pipe, especially when you load it up. unless you really want to limit your capacity, it's too smooth to really grab onto the slick surface of the wheels here. So you're gonna need I bought a bulk bag of rubber bands and snapped them all around here. That worked. But then I found the replacement belts that go in for the actual dual drum rotor. It came with several of these. Obviously, you can see it came with a lot of them actually. And these proved to be the perfect grippers, because one, they're already the right size. They're nice and thick. They're not going to wear out. What was happening is I was getting the rubber bands on here, and the rubber bands would wear out after a couple hours of running, and I would just snap new ones on there. It wasn't a big deal. It didn't impact anything, but I was just snapping on new rubber bands, and eventually I would go through too many of them. So you know, and so once you get this set up, it's pretty easy. You just put your brass in here, put your pins in here, fill it up with water, put your cleaning solution, snap that down, tighten it, and I've got a what is this, 9/16. Slap that on, ratchet it down, and this whole tube goes on the tumbler, and that's it. You don't have to make more room. You don't have to do two sets of all this crap. You can just do one big one, and I filled this thing up, you know, 75% of the way, 60% of the way of brass, and with I guess a pound of pins, and then filled it up with water, and it still worked. You know, you don't want to overwork your tumbler, but I feel like this is a more efficient use of the tumbler, and it just processes brass faster. Makes everything simpler because you don't have to do everything twice. You just do everything once. So that's my tip. Again, I will link the Reddit thread here for the actual materials and specs. And I suggest that if you have one of these dual drum rotary tumblers that everyone bought for like 40 bucks from Harbor Freight, it's a great replacement for those. So that's my reloading tip. And I hope it helps some other people out there. Thanks guys. Give me a like, give me a thumbs up, share it out. Appreciate it.